species. According to paleontologists, those scientists who study bones, almost all of the major living animal categories appear in the fossil record during the Cambrian period about 550 million years ago. This takes place within a 5 to 10 million year period, which has been called the Cambrian explosion. It is unlikely that any theory of evolution can account for the lack of transitional forms because it must create too many complex life forms too quickly. Before the Cambrian period, very few fossils have anything to do with modern animal categories, as are found in the fossil record. The sudden appearance of animal life in the Cambrian period has now earned titles such as the Big Bang of Animal Evolution, according to Scientific America, Evolution's Big Bang, according to Science Magazine, and the Biological Big Bang, according to Science News. The Cambrian explosion is by no means the only explosion in the fossil record. Plant biologists have called the origin of plants an explosion, saying the spreading of land plant species is the terrestrial equivalent of the much-debated Cambrian explosion of marine plants. Vertebrate paleontologists believe there was a mammal explosion because of the few transitional forms between major mammal groups. Others have called the origin of our modern man a genetic revolution, where no ape species is obviously transitional, leading one commentator to call it, like others call the Cambrian explosion, a Big Bang theory of human evolution. The pattern of the rapid appearance of diverse life forms without transition remains an important pattern in the fossil record. Now, Gould, Eldridge, and others have formed a different response to this difficulty. They call it punctuated equilibrium, which means rapid evolution. What they find is long periods of no evolution whatsoever, interrupted by short periods of very rapid evolution. Thus, punctuated equilibrium, or rapid evolution, proves that Darwin was mistaken. Ernest Mayr in 2001 wrote in his book, What Evolution Is, that new life forms usually appear suddenly in the fossil record, not connected to their ancestors through any series of intermediates. The Holy Quran comments on this issue. All praise belongs to Allah, the originator of the heavens and the earth, who employs the angels as messengers, having wings 2, 3, and 4. He adds to his creation whatever he pleases, for Allah has power over all things. Bats are an example. There are no fossil transitional forms leading to bats, and they basically appear in the fossil record as modern bats. Turtles are another example. They pop out of the fossil record in the late Triassic period without any predecessors or transitional forms. The earliest reported jawless fish in the fossil record are found near the early middle of the Cambrian explosion, with absolutely nothing resembling a fossil ancestor. The fact that such a complex organism as fish seemed to pop up at the very beginning of the animal fossil record is nothing short of a huge challenge to a naturalistic evolutionary account. Various evolutionists have conceded that the origin of fishes is a major mystery as far as their naturalistic evolution is concerned. The alleged amphibian to reptile transition is pretty much non-existent in the fossil record, according to vertebrate paleontologist Robert Carroll. The earliest known reptiles are immediately recognized as members of this group because of similarities of their skeleton to those of primitive living lizards. The earliest reptiles are sufficiently distinct from all other previous amphibians that their specific ancestry has not been established. Amphibians lay their eggs in water, and the larvae undergo a complex metamorphosis before reaching the adult stage. Reptiles lay a hard shell-cased egg, and the young are perfect replicas of the adults. No explanation exists for how an amphibian could have developed a reptilian mode of reproduction. Not only do the differences between reptiles and amphibians dictate that this transition faces immense obstacles, but it seems that this is clearly a necessary but missing link in Darwin's theory. The reptile-mammal transition is also claimed to be a complete fossil transition, so complete and convincing that Stephen Jay Gould even termed it the crown jewel of the fossil record. Millions of years' worth of alleged evolution and morphological change are nothing less than non-existent. Is there any reason to believe that mammals are connected through ancestry to reptiles? Changing it through step-by-step Darwinian mutations is very hard to imagine. You've probably never heard of this, but it just so happens that evolutionarily speaking, nobody has any idea where the dinosaurs came from. The major dinosaur groups appear in the late Triassic period without any recognizable ancestors. Evolution paleontologist Larry Martin, a challenger of the dinosaur to birds theory, was quoted as saying that such comparisons are riddled with characteristics based on mistaken anatomy, and such theories of dinosaur origins of birds are a good example of garbage in and garbage out. Despite all the talk of dinosaur fossils leading up to birds, there is actually a huge gap of 40 to 50 million years in the fossil record between the time of the supposed bird-like dinosaur to the appearance of the first true birds. At about 70 to 80 million years ago, almost all modern bird groups appear without any direct recognizable evolutionary predecessor. Apart from the whale, the evolutionary fossil changes leading to almost all other mammal groups are generally not even claimed to exist. Similar to the Cambrian explosion, paleontologists call the appearance of mammals in the fossil record something like a mammal explosion. Major and minor groups appear without any recognizable predecessors. Plants have what paleontologists call a very poor fossil record. Or do they? Soft algae fossils are thought to be found as far back as 600